Hey, welcome back to Azure Terraformer. This is part 2 of the Azure DevOps build agent code review, and we are going to actually try and spin this thing up and provision it into Azure and see if we can try and figure out what's wrong with that custom script extension. So if you're enjoying my channel, please smash that like button. If you want to see more of this content, also consider subscribing, and when you do, ring that bell so you know when my next video drops. Without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to comment out the virtual machine extension completely. So we're just not going to do that thing. And I'm going to go over to my bash. I'm going to deploy this thing. Oh man, we got all these names. Maybe I need to refactor all these things. I need to use the TFR file, right? So that's a problem. I'm just going to rename this Terraform.tfr so that it automatically picks it up, because I think the original author already has all the stuff in here. Of course, I have some go-and-dos to go clean all this stuff up, but we might run into some conflicts because their name is unique here. So, all right, I'm going to refactor this real quick and just show you what I'm talking about. We are going to extract this application and environment name out and kind of consolidate all the things. So now that I have those two parameters, I'm going to say application name equals, and then all of these things, I can probably just systematically get rid of these. So let me go through file by file and just kind of fix the names. I don't need a subnet name. I'm just gonna name it SNet default. I'm not actually changing object references. I'm just changing the names out in Terraform. And the VM name, I don't want to have hyphens in it, so I'm just gonna put it like that. And what else do I have? Oh, there's so many names on here. It's just insane. So I might want to extract the actual computer name as a local. Private IP address, interesting that it's like a static private IP address. Probably not gonna have a great time with that. I may have to change this to be dynamic. We'll figure that out here in a second. And then for my VM name, I don't actually need to use string interpolation. I can just use the local, because I actually intended, to use that as the thing. OS disk name, what are we doing for OS disk? So it's just blah, 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 VM OS disk. Okay, that's very creative. Pretty much the same thing. Am I right? Yes, I am. So now the computer name is just going to be the host name, and we don't need string interpolation. And there we go. So that should be good. Now, NSG, we probably have some NSGs going on here. So let me just construct an NSG name. Wonderful. So let's check all the things. All right. And I think we're pretty good. So now looking at these variables, like a lot of this stuff goes away. So I don't have to have a resource group name. I don't have to have a VNet name. I don't need a subnet name. I don't need a key vault name. I don't need a VM name. I don't need a pip name. I do need a username, and I don't need an NSG name. So right off the bat, I have radically reduced the amount of input variables to make this much, much cleaner and neater, in my opinion, for somebody that wants to use this module and do some stuff with it. Okay, so I'm gonna have to clean up my input variables, otherwise it's gonna keep prompting me for them. All these unnecessary names. If you are going to use a consistent naming convention, you are way ahead. You don't have to deal with all this nasty. I'm going to change this to US West, because I am not based out of the United Kingdom. And we're going to give this a little bit of an apply. Did I goof that? It should be West US. My bad. Whoops. And honestly, like, I hate defaults. Honestly, I absolutely hate defaults. We're gonna get rid of that default. I talk about this on my channel a lot. I don't like defaults. Defaults, make me nervous. So there we go. All right, so we've got all the things. Not normally a huge fan of 192.168, but whatever. Let's try this thing. Just don't see it yet. There it is. Okay. Panic. All right, so I've got my VM here, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be happy. So now I just need to wait for this to finish, and then we'll go and add that virtual machine extension back in and just see what borks, right? Okay, so we got this resource out there. Let's go add the virtual machine extension back in and see everything come crashing down on us. Now the virtual machine extension should be a pretty quick resource to get out there. I still have a hyphen in my VM name. I'm gonna have to fix that. If the shell script fails, we'll likely see the failure in the Terraform command line here. Sometimes the shell script eats the error, in which case the VM extension will provision, but it won't be healthy. So you'd have to go out and check the VM extension. Whoa, okay, that's bad. So what do we got? Command not service, command not config, no such file or directory. I mean, this is a problem. If you go and we go look at the virtual machine extensions, we're gonna see some problems here. So this is a lot of fun, right? It looks like we're downloading the file okay, but so first of all, config.sh isn't even found. So yeah, you're gonna have problems there. So let's go look at the script and see if we can fix this. First of all, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and just I don't know what this syntax is, so I'm just gonna get rid of all this stuff. And we are going to remove all the sudo shenanigans and see if we can just fix it this way. I'm going to manually, from the portal, uninstall this extension. After I make this update to the script, again, this is the line 12. I don't even think we're getting to this error because it wasn't even executing config.sh, right? So we're clearly not even hitting that error that I think is the actual problem. Okay, there we go. Now let me go run Terraform apply again. Okay, so we still have a problem here. svc.sh is not found. So if we go look at this portal again, we can see, okay, the download happened, script.sh, custom script, and then svc.sh is not found. So let's go look at our script again, see what could be the culprit. Let me just uninstall this extension while we go do that. Now looking at the script, so it looks like we're erring here. So it looks like this is working. But I'm guessing config.sh was not successful. So I'm just gonna, I don't know what this value is gonna be. So I'm just gonna change this to like something that doesn't have crazy syntax in here. I'm gonna call it mark azdo. And that's gonna be what our agent is called, okay? And we're just gonna run that. No, we're still having problems here. We're still having problems. So that failed. The same error here though. Script svc.sh not found. I'm starting to question whether this script is being installed or not. Really, I don't have a good grasp of like what is going on in this tarball. So I think I'd have to go download that tarball and actually see what's happening there. And this is kind of why Packer is a great option for building this image the way you want it to be, because then you can debug this stuff as it's happening in an isolated environment. Whereas right now I'm kind of troubleshooting a black box here. I mean, let me just execute this locally and just see what's in this thing. Okay. So we do have run.sh. So basically after this line we're extracting this, we've got config.sh, which is there, and we got run.sh. So let's, like, what is the actual error that we're getting here? Let me go back to the extension again. So tarball saved, script.sh, I think. So this is actually the script that we're executing. Line 22 ./svc.sh not found. It almost seems like config sh was found, But so let me just comment these out and see if it'll. Oh, I see what's happening. So we're changing directories here. I didn't even notice that. I was too focused on all this other stuff. So SVC, this mod dev happened to be the name of the user that they were working under. Is it I'm kind of curious. Actually, yeah, there is no svc.sh. So they were executing this within a particular location previously, right? Like if I go look at my changes and I go look at the script, I gotta do this in the big window. It's too small. So I go look at my changes. So they were switching user, and I don't know what -c is doing. Maybe that means that this is executing in the user's home directory. Yeah, I mean, maybe I should just like trust the force here and leave all this stuff in that directory, or I could just run with what I've got and just leave everything in the root directory and don't do any mod dev stuff. But I do feel like there must be something going on in this, config, where this is probably some huge script that is provided by Microsoft, right? That you pass in the user ID. Yeah. So it's passing in the user ID. Now a question would be, for this VM, do we actually pass in mod dev as the username? VM username. We probably are. Yeah, we are. Okay, so this is actually creating that user. All right, so I think what I need to do is I just need to trust in the force and back out some of my changes. So I'm gonna keep all this stuff because we're gonna put it into mod dev. Okay. I'm gonna get rid of the sudo. So I'm replacing the, yep, okay. And we're just gonna trust, we're gonna trust in the force. You know, that's the thing, is like with Bash, like I get a little bit on tilt because I honestly have no idea what su mod dev is doing. I mean, I know su is a switch user command. I don't know all the syntax of the dash username, dash C. I don't know what that's all about. It clearly, it appears that it's executing the script within the context of that user. But that's about all I can gather from that. So let's try this. So I'm gonna uninstall this. Okay, and with this script updated, kind of backed up, I've corrected some of my corrections. So we're gonna try and load this thing back up using this mod dev user. But the one thing that I didn't do is the agent name. So what I don't know is is this AZP agent name, like some magic environment name? I need to look this up and see. Run a self-hosted agent in Docker. Maybe that's like a parameter, and we have to pass in a host name. You know? But I think this config.sh, if we pass in the agent, let's go look at config.sh. Well, I think there's a couple of things that need to change here. So this is clearly not my Azure DevOps instance. So I think I'm going to need to update that. And actually, there's going to be quite a few things I'm going to have to update in here. I might as well just use the templatefile function. So the way templatefile function works, it works a lot like the file function, except in addition to taking in the path to the file, this is going to get really hairy really fast. So I'm just going to grab this content and extract it so that we can more clearly understand what the heck is going on here. So now with templatefile, basically I have this block here that I now need to set the parameters for. So the parameters that I want to set in my script, I want to set right here. You know, I don't know. I think what might be best, and this is a pattern that I use, is just to set an environment variable. Yeah, so AZDO organization, that is something that I'm going to pass in here. So we'll just set it to foo for right now. And then what else do I need to set? So now this is an environment variable. So I can just reference it by doing that. And now this is a pat token. And so basically what's going to happen is these are placeholders that Terraform is going to act on, and it's going to pass in whatever value into this bash environment variable. And then I reference the bash environment variable in the script. So that's how this is working. And I believe this is the actual syntax that they want inside quotes, which to me seems really strange. But I suspect that config.sh is actually, parsing this out. And this is, I suspect this is a bash command that's running the hostname executable. However, I could also pass in the hostname of the machine, which might be a good idea, and just set it without that. So I'm just going to say hostname. And then this might get a little simpler, because now I'm using the environment variable to set the hostname, and the username You know, username would be a good thing to set, you know, as well. Username. There we go. And the username is in a few places, right? I mean, we're switching user to the username. There, there, and there. Maker my agent. I don't think that matters. Of course, you know, that username does matter. And then we have to specify the username. So now I've got a couple more parameters to my virtual machine extension, which I'm way behind here. So, and we actually already have the username, right? So I can just set that. The host name, we actually already have that. That's the host name. The AZDO organization, don't have that, so we're gonna have to fix all this stuff up. So I need AZDO org, pat, and pool. So let me get pat, and then pool, and I am going to have to declare new variables for that stuff. So we're gonna say variable AZDO pat. We're gonna say variable AZDO pool. And I'm gonna set the there we go. So now I'm gonna have to set these values in my TFRs file. I need to get a pat token. Now I'm gonna go create a pool. So I've got my markdev pool, and I'm passing that in to, I'm actually not passing it in yet. So we got 5 input parameters. Let's look at our script. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And so I like this approach because then you don't have to embed these tokens all over your script. And then from basically this line on is just regular bash, you know. But basically what Terraform is going to do is through templatefile, it's going to find every instance of this username, $curly username, and it's going to take whatever is in this value here, the string value in this Terraform input variable, and it's going to replace in that file, you know, the value in that input variable, right? So that's what templatefile is intended to do. I of course need to go grab my local to grab the content from my custom script, and that should do it. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. I'm still very hoked out by this weirdness. I might be doing some pretty insane there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of quotations going on here and weird characters happening. So I'm not super confident this is gonna resolve to the value that I need it to resolve to. Let me try this. Got some little badness happening. I see. Yeah, I think I forgot one thing. You have to use string interpolation. Let's try that. No, still 21, line 21. But I don't know what this value needs to be. So config unattended agent. Well, this one, let's look at that. Biscuits. Yeah, so it's like it does want this value. So this is the user. I think I can simplify this even further. I don't think I need any of this, to be honest. I think I can get rid of all this stuff, and I can just say put in the host name. That looks promising. So let's go out here, look. Provisioning succeeded. That's a good sign. And wow, there we go. Yeah, looks like it's working now. I'm actually kind of curious if I go look at the agent pool. Can I see if there? Oh, look at that. There's my agent right there, pal. Just chilling. So I was not actually planning on doing custom Azure DevOps agents, but thanks to this code review from this friendly internet stranger, there we go. I kind of fell into creating a custom hosted agent pool, and we have figured out what was wrong with their script, and we've kind of terraformed it. We've converted it to Terraform, and we're doing this the Terraform way. And could the old bash possibly work? Probably. But the old bash, I mean, if you go look at that old bash, I think it was doing some really unnecessary gymnastics. When Terraform already knows what the host name is, you just take the host name that you use to provision the VM, and you pump it in there, right? And we don't have to deal with it anymore, because you will encounter that when you're working with automation, where there's a lot of like hacky stuff happening, where there's backup plan and plan A, plan B, and plan C. But when you have total control of the infrastructure that you provision, i.e. Terraform's creating the VM, Terraform knows what the host name of that VM is, all you have to do is take the host name from Terraform and hand it to your script. You don't have to have plan A and plan B and plan C and do all sorts of defensive scripting. So that's pretty much what we did here to get this working. So I hope that helps. I hope you like this video. If you do, please smash that like button. We had a little dicey moment there with some crazy bash. So I hope you like the authenticity here. Like, what you see is what you get. I don't pretend to know everything. I do my best, and if I don't know something off the top of my head, I gotta go look it up just like anybody else. So we did a little bit of that today, and that was kind of fun. But we ended successfully, and didn't spend too much time trying to figure it out. But thank you to my friendly internet stranger for sharing the GitHub URL. It was a lot of fun getting this working, and hopefully you find this helpful, and hopefully this helps you use Terraform and Azure DevOps custom agents to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. So again, if you like this sort of content, please smash that like button and consider subscribing to my channel. It really helps out a lot. And when you do, make sure you ring that bell so you know when my next video drops. And if you need help, and if you have some source code that you want me to either review or you can't figure something out, send me a GitHub URL. Send me your GitHub repo. DM me on Twitter. Contact me on the comment section below. Whatever. Get a hold of me somehow. And I'll do my best to help out. I don't have an SLA or anything, but I'll do my best to help out. Anyways, until next time, this is the Azure Terraformer signing off.